This is my ranking of every Super Mario Party minigame. Nothing's different, it's only my personal opinion and nobody else's. Also, any type of minigame counts here. And I think I might be forgetting something. I'm thinking maybe difficulty and replayability. But nah, that's it, no more rules. So, let's go. 83. Don't wake Wiggler. There's a sleeping Wiggler, which the players take turns petting. Each pet grants 1 point, and each player can pet it up to 5 times per turn. However, with each pet, Wiggler gets closer and closer to waking up, and the player with the most points once it wakes up is the winner. However, there's a catch. The player who wakes it up loses all their points, so that's incentive to limit how much you pet it later in the minigame. Of course, you could just not pet it at all, but you won't score any points by doing that. So basically, since there's no way of knowing when Wiggler will wake up, this minigame is all about risk. Really, Mario Party, ixnay on the ukle. 82. Heir to a Fortune. This one is similar to Same as Lame from Mario Party 6 and Bombard King Babam from Mario Party 9. The players are standing atop several clouds, some of which have a different amount of coins on them each round. They must each pick one cloud to jump onto, and if no other players pick the same cloud as them, the coins on it will become theirs. But if multiple players pick the same cloud, no one gets the coins. Side note, there are 5 rounds. There's no way of knowing who's gonna pick which cloud, so the only basket you have to put your eggs in is Lady Luck's basket. 81. Social Climbers. Each player has their own pole up which they must climb, and the first to reach the top of their pole is the winner. This minigame is not luck-based. The problem lies elsewhere, that being in the controls. I always struggle when I have to play this minigame, since to climb, you must swing the Joy-Con down while holding the trigger button, then swing it back up and release the trigger, all with a certain speed and timing, which I find quite awkward. Why? Hell if I know, but I feel like a lot of people would agree with me, and even disregarding that, it's boring and its concept is nothing special. You're just climbing a dang pole, so Social Climbers is all kinds of bad. 80. Stake your claim. There's a board, and a square divided into 4 shapes will be shown, each with a slightly different size. The players must each pick 1 per round, and will then score points. The player to pick the largest shape gets 5 points, second largest gets 3, second smallest gets 2, and smallest gets 1, and the player with the most points after 5 rounds is the winner.
This one's luck-based.
You're sort of right. It's quite hard, at least in the later rounds, to tell which shape is the biggest, since they all look roughly the same size. It also doesn't help that each shape can only be picked by 1 player, so it's a practically luck-based early bird gets the worm minigame. 79. Making faces. Each team has their own blank Mario or Bowser face, onto which they must place the facial features into the correct spots. One teammate moves the features horizontally, and the other vertically, and the closer they apply the features to the correct spots, the more points they'll score, and the team with the most points wins. To be honest, this minigame really isn't that bad. It's just kinda hard to get the features right in their correct spots. Yes, I know I usually like a good challenge, but like I've said before, there are limits. 78. Go with the flow. There'll be 3 toads riding hot air balloons, and with huge fans, players have to, one by one, move them side to side to pop smaller balloons. The more you do so, the better your rank will be. Good old balloon poppin'. Nothing's more fun than that, right? Yeah, I'm totally kidding. This minigame is average at best. It's boring, slow-paced, has no interesting concept, and despite being a co-op, doesn't really take that much teamwork. 77. Nutcases. There's a bunch of wooden crates with differing amounts of acorns inside. How do you know said amounts? You don't. It's luck-based. Kidding, kidding. When you pick one up, your Joy-Con will rumble. The stronger the rumble, the more acorns it'll have inside. Each team's gotta pick 5 crates, and the one that ends up with the most acorns wins. I guess it's cool how Nintendo tried to utilize the rumble feature in a more unique way, but if I'm being honest, I still find the overall concept kind of uninspired. And also, it's kind of boring, and not to mention, it's a non-teamwork-based 2v2. 76. Rumble fishing. Where have I heard that before? You have your own fishing rod, which you must use to catch a dragon eel. If the one you catch is bigger than all the other players, you win. How do you know which one's the biggest, I'm sure you're wondering? Just like in Nutcases, your Joy-Con will rumble when you get a bite, and the stronger the rumble, the bigger the dragon eel you'll land. Actually, you probably could deduce that from this minigame's title. Yeah, I know this one's pretty much the exact same thing as Nutcases, but given its much cooler and original concept, it's just a little better. 75. Barreling along. Simply put, this one's a racing version of Stump Change from Mario Party 7. Each player rolls on their own barrel, and must race them to the finish line. The first one to get there wins. Yeah, I said race twice, so why is this one so low? For one, it's pretty slow-paced, and 2, you race with the motion controls, which isn't inherently a problem, but in this case, doing so with the Joy-Con feels kind of uncomfortable, so I find it just eh. 74. Rattlin'? Yeah, I love you too, Nintendo. Each round, 3 different enemies will bust a move, each of which will make your Joy-Con rumble a certain way. After that, your Joy-Con will then rumble again in one of said ways, and you have to guess the enemy who made that rumble. The faster you guess right, the more points you'll score, and if you have the most points after 3 rounds, you win. Just like Nutcases and Rumble Fishing, this minigame emphasizes the rumble feature, but here in a better way. But even so, since all the enemies make rumbles that are too similar to one another, the 3rd round feels kind of luck-based, so overall, it's just alright. 73. Pull it together. Well, really, just tug of war. You play by button mashing. That's all there really is to this one. Unoriginal concept, but fun masher, I guess? I don't know what else to say. I guess it might be kind of better than other Mario Party minigames based off tug of war since there are 16 players now. Oh, screw it. Moving on. 72. Trike Harder. Each player rides their own trike, racing on a short track. Yeah, first one to reach the finish line wins. Just like in barreling along, you have to use the motion controls. But it's a bit better here because A, it's not as long, and B, it's a shaker. Well, sort of. You have to move the Joy-Con in a circular motion. I know it's really short, but it's also a race that makes good use of the motion controls, so I do like it. 71. Precision Gardening. Each player's got their own hydrant, which they must keep pumping water out of to reach a budding flower and make it bloom. First one to do so wins. This one's a shaker. So why is it better than Trike Harder? Because it's an authentic shaker. You don't have to move the Joy-Con any specific way, just keep shaking it as fast as you can. The concept isn't really noteworthy at all. If anything, it's actually bad, because they're wasting water. But nitpicks are nitpicks, and shakers are shakers, and fun is fun, and good is good, and done is done. 70. Timing is money. You're standing atop a slot, but you want to keep ground pounding for coins. The better your timing, the more coins you'll get, but be careful for bombs, because if you get one, you'll be stunned for a bit. No, really, that's it. That's the whole minigame. This one's just a nice and simple coin cache, and it takes good timing. Not like that's super obvious or anything, and that's all there really is to it.
Some minigames just don't have much to them.
69. Look sharp. There'll be a Mario character whom you're looking at through a magnifying glass, and you have to move it so the character appears in perfect focus. The faster you do so, the more points you'll score, and if you have the most after 3 rounds, you win. This one's good. It has a unique concept, and it makes good use of the motion controls in a really clever way. At times, they can be a little iffy, so that will hold the minigame back a bit, but even still, it's quite good. Look sharp, and my sense of humor totally does too, huh? 68. Start Gallery. The lone player's riding around in a little hovercraft, and the team must throw darts at him. If the lone player gets hit 3 times before time expires, the team wins, but if they can stay in, either until time is up or the team runs out of darts, they win. This one is good, but for a 1v3, it feels a little lackluster. It is cool how darts that miss can become obstacles for the lone player, but I feel there are much better 1v3s out there. But don't hear me wrong, I do like this one. 67. Fireplace Race, or really, a co-op version of Light Up My Night from 6. You're in a dark room in which you must run around in search of candles. Once you find one, you have to light it with your torch, and the faster you light them all, the better the rank you'll get. Also, watch out for swoops, because if one catches you, you'll get swooped back to the starting point. Since this one's a co-op, you might think I'd prefer it over Light Up My Night, but to be honest, I'm not really sure about that. That one's a maze, and this one's just an empty room, so I think I'd have to give Light Up My Night the small edge, but this one is very good too. It's both fun and on toe-keeping. 66. Home on the Rang. Each player's got their own boomerang, and tons of pokies will appear. You definitely don't want to throw your boomerang at them, because it ain't like you'll score points doing so, and reaching 80 points totally won't get y'all an S rank, and I'm definitely not sarcastic. But real talk though, this one might not take as much teamwork as a lot of other co-ops, but even so, it's fun, takes good timing, and has an original concept. And bonus, it makes good use of the motion controls. Home on the Rang hammers it home. 65. Strike It Rich, and here we have our first rhythm minigame. You're running along a path, and to the beat of the music must keep hitting mystery blocks. The more in sync you are with the music, the more points you'll get, and the one with the most at the end wins. These rhythm minigames were a really clever addition, and while most of them are great, this one's just good at best. For some reason, I always seem to struggle more with this one than all the others. It could just be me, but either way, it is still good, and not to mention, its concept is very original. 64. Pie Hard. This one's really just a food fight! You have to grab pies and throw them at the other team. Each hit gets you 1 point, and the team with the most points when time is up wins. I'm sure this goes without saying, but this one's concept is, yes, unoriginal, but hilarious nonetheless. But really, I could imagine this one being loads more fun if A, it were a team minigame, and B, the arena were bigger. Well. Would've, could've, should've. It's still really good the way it is. 63. Puzzle Hustle. You're in an arena with tons of pixel puzzle pieces, I guess, which you have to assemble into a certain character. And of course, you want to shoot for a new record. Does it surprise you that I prefer the solo version over the co-op one? Honestly, I like both versions, but I feel like in multiplayer, it can be kind of easy to get in each other's way. But either way, it's a unique, clever puzzle game. It's also really cool how there are a bunch of different levels. 62. Spheremongers. You have your own, UFO thingy with a giant magnet. With it, you have to get metal spheres and drop them into your goal. Doing so will get you points, and if you have the most points when time is up, you win. It's a collecting minigame, and those tend to be quite fun. This one's pacing could be a bit faster. I mean, just think of Beam Team from Mario Party 5. But really, overall, it's good. 61. Trip Navigator. This one can be seen as, like, a larger scale version of Mass Appeal from 5. Again. You're in an arena full of banana peels, which you must run around to reach the finish in the center. If you slip on a peel, you'll, lose time, and the first one to get to the center wins. No special concept here, but it is a pretty fun race that keeps you on your toes. I don't think it's quite as good as Mass Appeal, but it is for sure good. I definitely like it a lot. But I wonder, where'd all these peels come from? If the Mushroom Kingdom suddenly has an outbreak of potassium deficiency, we can guess why. 60. Smash and Crab. The team's operating a huge crab robot with 2 hammers. Alright then. With which they must try to smash the lone player. One teammate moves it side to side, and the other 2 each control a hammer. If the team can hit the lone player in the time limit, they win, but if not, the lone player wins. This one's concept is, different, I guess. And it's really fun and suspenseful. It's like one of those which way am I gonna go games. And typically, those are really fun. I think I slightly prefer to be on the team, but either way, this one's always a good time. 59. Mini League Baseball. It's just baseball, that's it. Well, more like toy baseball, really. Instead of outfielders, there are little cups, and instead of pitching, you use a little catapult thingy. Oh, what a cute little setup. So, good concept? Yeah, not really. But I have a question for you. When I say the word gravy, what does that make you think of? Turkey? No. Thanksgiving? No. Ed? No. Amazing concepts? Yes, because that's all they are, gravy. This minigame is surprisingly fun, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. 58. Lit Potato. First Hot Ba-Bomb, then Ba-Bombic Plague, and now this. This one's just like Ba-Bombic Plague, but with twice as many players and multiple Ba-Bombs at once. Get blown up, you're out. Last one standing, your team wins. To be honest, I like this idea, but the whole multiple Ba-Bombs at once thing kind of brings it down for me. I do still really like the minigame, but that one feature kind of makes it less intense, relatively to Ba-Bombic Plague at least. I do understand it would drag on forever otherwise, but no matter what, this is certainly a clever spin on Hot Ba-Bomb. 57. Tall Order. Each team has to make a tower of shaved ice? Okay then. But don't dispense willy-nilly or your rice will miss the bowl. The team with the taller tower at the end wins. Let's start with concept. Making towers of shaved ice. That's pretty random, but at least it puts the motion controls to good use and takes good timing. You have to dispense mindfully, though it is kind of funny how, if you miss, the ice falls on the penguins' heads and they just don't care. They're like, snow, big deal. Ice pun, huh? 56. Net worth. You're at a cheap infested river, and with a big net, must catch as many of them as you can. The more you catch, the higher your rank will be. Let me just get original concept out of the way. And now that I have, this one is fun, nice and simple, and takes good timing. And I guess to an extent, good communication. Overall, it may not require a huge amount of teamwork, but I still love it. I guess that just proves co-ops can be good even if they don't involve a lot of teamwork. 55. It's the pits. The players and their allies are standing atop a platform that'll open up, and if any players fall through, they're eliminated. The team with the most players still standing after 3 rounds wins. This one is really fun, since there are so many players competing at once. Sasuga team minigame, and it also keeps you on your toes, and can be a bit challenging at times. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like a new version of Bowser's Roulette Rage from 10, and I think I have to give this one the edge, because it feels much less up to luck. I also find it more thrilling. 54. Lost in the Shuffle. There will be 5-toed Matryoshka dolls, each with a differing amount of smaller dolls inside. They'll shuffle around, and you have to keep track of the one with the most dolls inside, then when they stop, pick it out before your opponents do. If the doll you choose has the most, you win. Duh, this one takes razor-sharp focus. You also have to act fast, because each doll can only be picked by one player. Those 2 factors make this minigame a decent challenge. It doesn't really have any special concept, but who cares? 53. Maths of Glory. This one can be seen as mathletes from 5 done right. Each team's got their own puzzle castle thing, plus a cannon. Each round, they have to hit 2 blocks to get numbers, and they'll then shoot cannonballs at the other team's castle, the amount of which equating to the product of the numbers you rolled. The first team whose castle is completely destroyed loses, or if both are still standing after 5 rounds, the team whose castle's the most intact wins. This one's luck-based! How can it possibly be this high? Because similarly to Cardiators from 8, I love this one's concept. So much so that I think it's my second favorite luck-based minigame in the entire Mario Party series. No luck, no glory! 52. Snack Attack. A bunch of popcorn will keep raining down, and with a huge cup, you want to catch as much of it as you can. Doing so will score you points, but watch out for volcanic debris, because if any hits you, you'll lose points. If you have the most points when time is up, you win. This one's kind of like a more hectic version of Coney Island from 5, but I don't think it's quite as good. It feels more cramped, and the volcanic debris was a nice touch, but I feel like it's a little too intrusive. But no doubt, I still do like it a lot. It's really fun, and I love the concept, and the name Snack Attack is just so cool. 51. Soak or Croak. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here. Just a good old-fashioned water gun fight. You know, fill up your gun, shoot it at your opponent, try and knock them out of the fountain. If you do get knocked out, you lose, but if you can outlast the other players or the timer, you win. No noteworthy concept. Duh, but it's a water gun fight, not a gravy gun fight. It's both really fun and on toe-keeping. And really, that's all there is to it. I don't need no padding. 50. Get over it. Imagine Hop, Drop, and Roll from 10, but everyone's a team player. Girls. It's so fun to say that. We'll keep rolling in at various speeds, and of course you want to keep jumping over them, because if one hits you, you're out. The last player standing wins it for their team. This one's just nice and simple, and on toe-keeping. But even with that, it's still a decent challenge, and it has an original concept. Sorry, that's all I have for this one. Get over it. 49. Can't take Pancake. There's a plate full of pancakes, and you want to take as many of them back to your plate as you can. The more you do so, the more points you'll score, and if you have the most points when there are no more pancakes, you win. This might sound pretty simple and easy, but there is one caveat. You can only grab pancakes that don't have other ones on top of them. This one is, again, nice and simple and just plain fun, and I'll just say I love pancakes, but I don't think I could eat at the same table as these guys because they're serving themselves with their bare hands. Y'all gotta learn proper manners. 48. Robo Uprising. Each team rides their own rowboat and must race them to the finish line. Along the way, watch out for buoys and a toy Cheep Cheep. Can you guess why I like this one? I mean, it's not like I said the word race or anything, and from the looks of it, it's not like it's fast-paced or requires good teamwork or what have you, and no way in hell is it very fun and like synchronicity from 7 done right or whatever. Do you think I'm being sarcastic? Well, I'm not. I'm being a smartass. There's totally a difference. 47. Fetch Quest. You're in a maze full of crystals. You have to grab and bring them back to the starting point. The faster you do so with all 9, the higher the rank you'll get. Finally, a co-op that actually takes good teamwork! Because some crystals are locked off behind walls, which one teammate must hold open with a switch while another teammate grabs them. Other than that, it's quite fun and nice and simple. And that's all I got. You can't always expect me to have a lot to say about every single minigame. 46. Metal Detectors are like a coin cache version of Barrel Baron from 4. You're in an open desert field, well, save for a few pokies, and must walk around in search of buried coins. You want to find and dig up as many as you can before time expires. Concept, but even so, it is really fun and makes good use of the Rumble feature, and it for sure beats Barrel Baron because 1, there are more players. The more the merrier! And 2, the pokies make it a better challenge since they can make you lose coins. 45. Follow the money. You're running along a path on which coins will keep spawning. No duh, you want to get as many as you can while being careful not to get flattened by thwomps or fall off the course. This is quite a fun and on-toe keeping coin cache. It is slow-paced, but hey, it's an auto-scroller. What do you expect? Coins can spawn behind you, which means you don't want to go too far ahead. Yes, I know I tend to not like it when you have to limit your movements, but here, it's not that big of a deal. Follow the money's right on the money, and I'm right on the funny. 44. Shell-Shocked Deluxe. As should be obvious from the name, this is a new version of Shell-Shocked from 2. Well, I guess Nintendo defines a bird's-eye view duel as Deluxe. And honestly, I disagree. Don't get me wrong, it is good, but in my opinion, not as much as the original Shell-Shocked. But even so, I still do enjoy it a lot. It lasts longer because you have infinite lives, there are huge brick blocks that you can destroy, and the cannonballs can ricochet. The point I'm trying to make is, it's different enough to be good on its own merit. Maybe they should have given it its own name, like maybe Tanks for the Memories? 43. Feeding Frenzy. You somehow have an endless supply of balls. Keep any laughter inside your head, and you have to keep throwing them, trying to get them inside the robot Cheep Chomps when they open their mouths. The more you do so, the more points you'll rack up, and if you have the most when the timer ends, you win. This one really utilizes the motion controls in a big way, but I do have one minor issue. For the robot Cheep Chomp on bottom, you have to limit the strength of your Joy-Con swings. I said the word limit, so I think you know to what minor issue I'm referring. But even with that, this one is really fun and immersive. 42. Hammer and Sick'em. The team leaders each have their own balloon, and every player has a hammer. Do you know what happens next? Because I'm clueless. I feel like some people would be all like, you gotta pop the other team's balloons with your hammer, duh! But something tells me that can't be it. I don't know, just a gut feeling. But whatever it is, this one's mad chaotic. It does kind of suck how most times it only lasts a few seconds, but no matter what, it's very fun. 41. Half the battle. Tons of star token thingies will keep spawning. You want to grab as many as you can, then meet up with your teammates in the middle to reassemble them. The team that reassembles the most in the time limit wins. And side notes, watch out for amps. Good teamwork? Sort of, I guess? Good challenge? Yeah, I suppose, since the amps can be really annoying. Concept? I might say unique. Fun? Yeah, totally. Great minigame? Unequivocally. 40. Pep Rally. The name says it all here. You're just participating in a pep rally. You have your own sign, which you have to keep raising up in accordance with the music's tempo. The more in sync you are with it, the more points you'll get. Now we're getting into the really good rhythm minigames. Strike It Rich may have a better concept, but this one is more fun, and more importantly, much easier to stay in sync with the music. 39. Rhythm and Bruise. Rhythm's right in the name. I wonder what that could mean. With the hammer, you want to keep hitting fake Monty moles when they pop up to the rhythm of the music. The better your timing, the better your score. This one's faster paced, and it has an original concept. Oh, and speaking of, is Monty Mole a misanthrope too? Or I guess a molanthrope? And a little bonus, it feels more natural swinging the Joy-Con down than up. 38. All-Star Swingers. Well, basically Dinger Derby from 5, but with rhythm. Each player has their own baseball pitching machine. They'll keep pitching at different speeds, and you want to hit the baseballs to the beat of the music. Yes, the better your timing, the more points you'll get. No special concept here, but it's really fun, and you swing the Joy-Con horizontally. It's also a good challenge, since the machines can pitch in a few different ways. 37. Time to Shine. I guess you could look at this one as a rhythm version of Move to the Music from 2. Oh, here we go again. Waluigi will perform dance moves and you have to mimic them. Yes, in good sync with the music, and yes, the better your timing, the higher your score. Here, the direction in which you swing your Joy-Con doesn't matter. You just gotta shake it, shake it, shake it any way you feel. And I just love how this minigame gives Waluigi time to shine. Eh? That is funny, no? 36, take a stab. Lakitus will keep throwing fruit your way. Getting sick of Spinies? Which, with an epee, you have to stab.
To the beat of the music, and the better you do so, the more points you'll score.
This one kind of has a more interesting concept, and I like how you have to thrust the Joy-Con like a real epee. I'm not on the fence about this one. That is funny, why you no laugh? 35, just for kicks. This one's just plain old soccer. No tricks, no gimmicks, no nothing. Just kicking a ball into a net. So obviously, no noteworthy concept. But even so, it's really fun, with so many players competing all at once. This one is always a really good time. And side note, I just like soccer. Just goes to show, Mario Party can make a fun minigame out of any concept, even without a bunch of crazy gimmicks. 34, minor setbacks. You have to get a container full of diamonds from one side of a cave to the other, and watch out for piranha plants unless you want to get slowed down. The shorter your time, the better your rank will be. Yeah, this one is slow-paced and lacks any conceptual value, but one of those things goes well with mashed potatoes, and the other is sometimes good, and this is definitely one of those times. And plus, it requires good synergy and synchronization, and with the piranha plants, it keeps you on your toes. For sure, a co-op done right. 33, bopping spree. Each side has 8 punching bags arranged in a square, with the lone player inside his/hers and the team on the outside of theirs. Said punching bags will glow, and each side must hit that bag to score a point. The first side to 10 points wins. This one is just plain fun, and that's all. Some minigames are good for a few or even one simple reason. I've never said that before. Well, I guess it is fun to punch stuff, but good concepts are just gravy. I've never said that before either. 32, train in pain. Each team leader drives a little train with a spring boxing glove, with which they have to knock out all the other team's cabooses. The first team to get completely knocked out loses, or if the timer runs out before that point, the team with more cabooses still standing wins. Oh, this one's a riot, man. Super fun and thrilling. It also has a unique concept. I don't really have anything else to say. Short, sweet, and to the point. This minigame rocks. Don't hate me because I'm breviloquent. 31, penguin pushers. You're in an icy arena with a bunch of baby penguins whom you must chase around and lead out to their mother. The faster you do so with all of them, the better your rank will be. This one takes really good synergy. You have to keep making human walls so the penguins can't get away. And the ice physics make it an even better challenge. And I know what you're thinking. It's like pushy penguins from Mario Party 5. Ugh. But with the roles reversed. How do you like us now, pushy penguins? How do you like us now? That one's better, no doubt, but this one is still awesome. 30, Baton and Dawn. Back to the rhythm minigames. Here, you're in a marching band and must swing your baton in rhythm with the music. The more in rhythm you are, the more points you'll get. I don't care much for this one's concept, but in terms of how you have to shake the Joy-Con, it's unique, because the amount of time between shakes is much shorter than in most other rhythm minigames. So therefore, you don't keep doing the same motion over and over again, but instead go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. 29, Fiddler on the Hoof. Here, you're horseback riding. You have to whip them, yes, to the beat of the music, and the better your timing is, the more points you'll score. I will say, at times, this one can feel a bit too hard, but not so much so to make it unfun. In fact, I find it really fun, and I just love how Nintendo gave the horses from Mario Sports Superstars. Honestly, the only thing people remember from that game, their own minigame. 28, Wiped Out. This one has you window buffing a tall building, in sync with, I forget. I don't think it's the music, but, whatever it is, the better you are at it, the more points you'll score. Right? Again, no real interesting concept here, but it's just really fun, and the music is outstanding, and the name Wiped Out kinda makes me laugh. 27, Clearing the Table. This one's for sure the best rhythm minigame. Wine bottles will keep falling onto your table, and actually, you should know by now, and the better you do so, the more, you should know that by now too. I really like this one's interesting concept, so it's unique, but not only because of that, also because you don't have to swing as frequently as you do in pretty much every other rhythm minigame, so it's less tiring. This one's clearly amazing. I suck, that much is clear. 26, Juice Box. This one's kind of like a slightly better version of Trial by Tile from 8. Oh, Lord Jesus. There's a board full of fruits, and the players, each with half a box, must, with their teammates, enclose the fruits that match the sequence shown on the left. Each time you do so, you'll get a point, and first team to 3 points wins. Trial by Tile is really good, but I find this one better because there are more players, and it takes good teamwork, relatively speaking. Nintendo's attempts to build upon Trial by Tile really bore fruit, wouldn't you say? Whether it was intentional or not. 25, Senseless Sensus. You're on a train with a bunch of toads, and you have to count how many there are, being careful not to fall for decoys. Any player to guess the right number, or if no one gets it right, whoever comes the closest wins. This one requires you to pay close attention, and can even be challenging at times. It feels like the Toad version of Roll Call from 2... Deluxe Edition. It's a bit of a better challenge, more immersive, and not to mention, has a more interesting concept. 24, Fruit Forecast. Tons of fruit will keep falling, and with the basket, you want to catch as much of it as you can, and also watch out for spiky balls, unless you want to get stunned. The team to catch the most fruit in the time limit wins. I guess this one's kind of like Snack Attack, but 2D. Well, 2.5D, and faster paced. I'm not sure if the 2D, 2.5D part has anything to do with why I like this one more, but I'm certain the faster pace is part of the reason. Its concept is nowhere near as interesting, but I find it more fun, even if it's a non-teamwork based 2v2. 23. Absent-Minded. There'll be 3 different characters on a board, one of which will be absent from a sequence of characters above, and you have to guess which one that is. The faster you guess right, the more points you'll score, and if you have the most points after 3 rounds, you win. This one takes razor-sharp focus. It's also just plain fun, and I think with an interesting concept. Additionally, it's a decent challenge, since each round is harder than the one before. I really can't say anything bad about this one, and how often is that the case? I'm absent-minded on that one. 22. Dropshot. The team players are climbing on a fence, and the lone player with a tennis racket must shoot bombs at them. If he or she can hit all 3 of them before time expires, he or she wins. But if even one team player can outlast the timer, the team wins. This one is, like most other 1v3s, fun for the lone player and nerve-wracking for the team.
And thrilling for everyone. No way you could have guessed that, right?
The concept is also pretty funny.
A little far-fetched maybe, but not bad at all. 21. Lightning Round. In a way, this one's kind of like a coin cash version of Take Me Home from 7... No. Ugh. Coins will keep spawning, and you want to get them, but also watch out for the sumo bros. They'll keep shooting down balls of electricity, which if you get zapped by, you'll lose coins. This one may be quite short, but regardless, it's a really fun, on-toe-keeping coin cash, and I love the original concept. Take Me Home is kind of better, but I really love this one too. 20. Dust Buddies. Each side's got a vacuum cleaner, the lone player's having a bigger nozzle in a room with a lot of dust. I wonder where it all came from. Of course, you want to vacuum as much of it as you can. Once all the dust is cleaned, or time expires, whichever comes first, the side that sucked up the most wins. Despite having a black concept, this one's very fun, and for the team it takes good communication and synchronization. Yeah, we all thought chore-based minigames were Mario Party 6's thing, but with this one, Super comes really close. 19. Fuzzy Flight School. Well, really, Sky Survivor from 5 done right. Sort of mixed with Fuzzy Flyers from 10. Ay, mamma mia. The players, each with their own plane, are flying through a long course full of fuzzies, which, of course, they have to dodge. Each time you hit one, you lose a life, and if you lose all 3, you're out, but if you can make it to the end, you win. Where do I start with this one? Mad fun, on-toe keeping, good challenge, great use of motion controls, epic and original concept. Oh, it's spectacular! It's a little better than Fuzzy Flyers, and way better than Sky Survivor. 18. Looking for Love. The players are on a screen, and several shapes will be shown on the 4 sides of it, one of which will be a heart. Players must look towards the heart, and the sooner they do, the more points they'll score. The player with the best score after 10 rounds wins. Nothing really special about this one's concept, but it requires close attention and focus. And you know how much I love games that have those qualities, right? It's also looking a lot like Look Away from 2 and Don't Look from 9. I'm not loving all this copycat crap. 17. Block and Load. Each side's got a fort of blocks which they must keep shooting at with cannons. The lone player with a big slow one, and the team players with small fast ones. The first side to shoot out all their blocks wins. I think I said the word shoot at least once, right? And do I remember myself saying I love shooting games? And is this just a nice and simple one? Go do research and find out if I'm right about all that, and if I am, let me know. But one thing I do know, I think I prefer to be the lone player, but no matter what, I love this one. 16. Toe the Line, or kind of like an alternate version of Robo from 7, but much better. Each player is connected to their teammate by a string, and on a pin cushion with 9 pins. Must run around said pins to make the shape shown in the middle with the string. First team to do so gets a point, and first to 3 points wins. This one's really fun, but most of all requires good teamwork. Specifically, good coordination, cooperation, communication, synchronization, synergy. I think that sums it up. It also has a really unique, interesting concept, and kind of cute too. 15. Off the Chain. The lone player's riding a chain jump and must run into all 3 team players with it. If they can do so before time expires, they win, but if at least one team player can survive the entire time, the team wins. Oh, this one's super fun, thrilling, and on-toe keeping. One of those for the team, another for the lone player, and the last one for everyone. You should know to whom go which. It also has a, more or less, original concept. It's sort of like a 1v3 version of Chain Jump Fever from 4. 14. Perfect Fit. You'll have half shapes, and you and your teammate have to position them properly, then merge them into a cube. The first team to make 3 cubes wins. This one is fun, but most of all, it's unique for a lot of reasons. It makes excellent use of the motion controls in a one-of-a-kind way, and at the same time, it takes good teamwork. I can't think of any other minigames like that. It also has a really one-of-a-kind concept. Perfect Fit is a perfect fit for my fancy? Hey, nobody's perfect. No need to throw a fit. 13. Drop Quiz. Each round, a line of characters carrying different fruits will be shown, and then the lone player must choose a question about that, and the team must try to guess the right answer. If they do so, they're safe, but if they guess wrong, they're out. If at least one team player is still standing after 3 questions, the team wins, but if not, the lone player wins. As far as Mario Party quiz minigames go, this one's quite unique. The team can strategize. Each teammate can pay attention to one factor of the line, which will make it easier for them to remember all the details. And so yeah, I think I prefer to be on the team. And on top of all that, it's very fun with the funny and, again, unique concept. 12. Ithsmiths Be the Way, or more simply, a co-op version of Unhappy Trails from 7. I can't take it anymore. There's a long, narrow trail, and the players in a 4-man relay must get a firework bomb all the way across to a cannon at the end. The faster you do so, the better your rank will be. And of course, try not to fall off unless you want to lose time. Honestly, I think this one's just as good as Unhappy Trails. It's a pretty good challenge and keeps you on your toes. Ithsmiths Be That Way. You don't think that's funny? Don't be that way! 11. What a Racket. This one's kinda the same thing as Dropshot, except both sides shoot bombs at each other, with each team player having a small racket and the lone player having a huge one, in a badminton-like setting. Each successful shot scores 1 point, and the side with the most points when time expires wins. This one's mad fun and thrilling, and the concept, epic and unique, and bonus, I don't care what side I'm on. In a way, it's sort of like a different version of Badminton Bash from 10. 10. Sort of Fun. Each player's got their own basket into which they must drop different sports balls. If Toad throws you a ball that's not yours, you have to pass it along to the appropriate player. The more balls you can get sorted before time expires, the better the rank you'll get. Out of all the co-ops, this one, I think, takes the most amount of teamwork and synchronization. It also has a kind of clever concept. There is one minor hole though. It's a bit harder for the 2 players in the middle, and I think it should be obvious why. Big deal. Sort of Fun is not sort of fun, it's way fun! 9. Suit yourselves. You're in a room with tons of cards. Kamek will turn them over, then ask where all the cards of one suit are. You then have to flip up all 4 of those cards. The less mistakes you make before getting all 4 suits, the higher the rank you'll get. Yeah, this one's my favorite co-op. I know it doesn't take as much teamwork as most others, but it does take close focus and good memory. It also gets a bit harder as it progresses, since Kamek can shuffle the cards, and he does so more whimsically as you progress suits, and I love the concept. It's a one-of-a-kind memory game. Don't agree? Don't like it? Suit yourselves. 8. Candy Shakedown. You have your own jar full of candy, and you have to shake all of it out. First one to empty their jar wins. And that's all. So why do I have this one so high? Well, in short, the motion controls. This minigame utilizes them in a unique, brilliant way. It really feels like you're trying to drop big candy out of a small jar. It's also just really fun and nice and simple, and it has a kind of cute concept. Some might say I'm overrating this one, and if you feel that way, sorry, but to each their own. 7. Sizzling Steaks. You're cooking a meat cube on a pan. The first one to cook all 6 sides wins. And that's it. Just like Candy Shakedown, the way this minigame utilizes the motion controls is one of a kind and ingenious. It really feels like you're moving and flipping a meat cube on a frying pan. And also, I love how, when a side is done cooking, the Joy-Con will stop rumbling, which is how you'll know when to flip to a new side. And the concept is, again, pretty cute. Though, one really small thing, every time I play this one, I seriously start craving steak. Too bad I'm not a vegetarian. 6. Gridiron Gauntlet. You're in a football field, and a bunch of charging chucks will keep running by. If one hits you, you'll lose a life, and if you lose all 3, you lose. But if you can outlast the other players or the timer, you win. This one's mad fun, and on toe-keeping, and thrilling, and challenging, and it has an epic original concept. And that's all. Let me catch my breath for a second. I also love how Chargin' Chuck's got their very own minigame. It's really nice to see more obscure Mario characters getting some much-needed recognition. 5. Dash and Dine. This one's like a more immersive version of Order Up from 4. Ugh. You're in a kitchen, and Toad will ask you for 3 ingredients. You have to go get them, then bring them back to him. Each time you do, you'll get a point, and the team with the most points when time is up wins. This one beats Order Up by a long shot. It's, again, more immersive, and therefore more fun. It also kind of takes better teamwork. I also kind of like how you have to watch out for the roaming Toad. He can really get in your way. So yeah, Dash and Dine has a lot of really great things about it, so I love it. 4. Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. A bunch of bruisers will start chasing you, and you want to run from them. No crap. If they catch up to you, you lose, and if you're the last one standing, you win. Let me take a look at my list. Very fun, super thrilling, mad on toe-keeping, epic and original concept. Whoa, this minigame has it all! There is a teeny tiny little bit of luck involved, because there are split paths, one of which in each fork is full of blocks that you'll have to maneuver around, which of course will make it harder to avoid the bruisers. But really, that's hardly a problem. I freaking love this minigame. Ah yeah, Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. 3. Sign, Steal, Deliver. This one takes place at an apartment complex, and Toads will open their doors and wait for you to come get packages from them. The team does so on foot, and the lone player with a drone. For each package you bring back to your delivery truck, you'll score 1 point, and the side with the most points when time is up wins. It's really cool how each side has a number of advantages over the other. The lone player's drone can move around faster and even steal packages from team players, while the team can cover more ground, and each player can carry 2 packages at once. No very noteworthy concept here, but it's just so fun. It also, for the team, takes good teamwork. All around spectacular minigame. 2, Bumper Brawl. The players and their allies are inside huge balls and must charge up power and bash right into opponents. You want to knock them out of the arena, and the first team to get completely knocked out loses. Dude, man, bro, this one just, ugh, it's insanely fun. I can't get enough of it. It's like bumper balls from 1 and 2. I'm gonna die. Done right. I mean, bumper balls is really good. Well, at least the Mario Party 2 version, but this one's like a deluxe version. It's much more fun and thrilling, and bonus, it doesn't always end in a tie. I'd say it's pretty much perfect. 1, Slapparazzi. This one's like a different version of Flash Forward from 10. Please carve Rescrutescence on my headstone. You're in an arena, into which Koopas will keep coming with cameras. You want to go towards them and try to get in the center of the shot. To do so, you have to punch other players out of your way. Once Koopa takes the picture, the most visible player scores 3 points, the second most visible scores 2, the second most obscure scores 1, and the most obscure scores nothing. The player with the most points after 7 photos wins. Did I say the word punch? Yeah, I think I did. And is that word typically a dead giveaway of a fighting game? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And do I just love fighting games? Yeah, I'm fairly certain I do. And does this one have a really clever, unique concept? Yes, I truly believe it does. I'm not sure if I prefer this one or Flash Forward, but I'm pretty sure not knowing won't keep you awake at night. The most important thing is, for how incredibly amazing it is in so many ways, Slapparazzi is easily my #1 favorite Super Mario Party minigame. It slaps. Ow, hey! So there you have it, my ranking of every Super Mario Party minigame. For more videos like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, please check out my social media. All links are in the description. A super thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Mikoro out.